Welcome back to the greatest show in the entire universe. Today we have an interesting concept for a show. It's going to be a little bit different for viewers, and if you're new, I mean you don't know anything. So welcome, welcome to the show. We have
You are now listening to the best show in the universe, The Anthony Rogers Show. You probably wish that this was your show, but it's not. It's The Anthony Rogers Show. Tell all of your friends to listen to this show.
David Rosenthal from Purifier Foods. How are you doing, man?
I am doing excellent. It's a great opportunity to be on this show and talk about what we're doing here.
Well, I appreciate that, man. So you do things a little differently. Like you have hot sauce that basically boosts your immune system and like is actually good for you, like health wise and stuff. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. So the company is Purifier Foods. As you can see right now, we're in the Purifier station, and so what Purifier Foods is apple cider vinegar based medicinal tonics. And then we launched basically the first like truly medicinal hot sauce, which is really a conversation that hasn't happened up until now. Hot sauces aren't marketed as, as health items. So we wanted to kind of change the conversation a little bit and came out with the first fire tonic hot sauce that has 20 organic ingredients, 7 medicinal mushroom extracts. You could literally drink it from the bottle and it'd be great for cold, flu, upper respiratory, gut, sinus, really boosting your immune system with all the COVID stuff that's going on right now. Like that's like top of the list, keeping the immune system boosted and supported. So we're excited about this one.
no, it's awesome. You gave me some of this. I've been waiting to talk to you to do it, so I would do it actually right. Like, what? So do you pour this on like your salads, or like do you take shots of it, or all of it, or like what do you? How do you consume the fire tonic basically? Too, 'cause it seems like interestingly.
Okay, so with the fire tonics, and we have 4 flavors. I don't know if I can like maybe pull in here, do a little close up, but
Totally.
so we've got 4 different flavors on the left, which is the white label is our original. That's 20 organic ingredients. Then we have the yellow label is the nectar. We have the only chocolate version on the market, and then we have one that's called the cooler, which doesn't have hot peppers in it. But basically what you do with the tonics is that we recommend a tablespoon a day to really support and boost your immune system. But we found out that these products just were so good on food and mixed in beverages that if anybody's like doing any like juices or smoothies, you can put a tablespoon in there and you're immediately adding like an additional 20 ingredients to what you're doing. So, and again, it's really about supporting the immune system. The company was birthed at the base of a 100-year-old cedar tree in a meditation that I did in the mountains of North Carolina. Just really coming from the heart, which you'll learn in this episode today, that everything we do is about intention. And this product, when it came to me in a download from day one, was never ever about just putting a product on the shelf. That's not what we do.
Well, yeah, I don't think you go about making a product like you did if your only goal was profit. I think, like, yeah, it definitely has a lot of good purpose. And I've been excited to kind of use that, but I don't want to use it incorrectly. And I feel like I feel like the conversation was just good. Like, the juicer thing's honestly awesome too, because I could see myself doing that, like just juicing a bunch of things, and like that's good. So this product's for the perfect time. I mean, the timing couldn't be better for this product. Like.
Yeah, it's a perfect timing for this product too. And you know what we love about it is that, you know, a lot of people right now, they're maybe like doing the apple cider vinegar thing in the morning, you know, with warm water, a little cayenne, a little lemon. We've got all that covered because we've got all of those ingredients in what we do. But you also have a lot of people that are taking like multiple things, right? They've got like, you know, maybe they're taking a turmeric supplement and they're taking this supplement and they're taking that supplement. And with our products, we have up to 22 organic ingredients. So it's basically like one shot, drop, you know, either take it from the bottle, as we say, take it to the face if you want, or if the heat's a little too much for you, we came up with a version called Cooler where we took the hot peppers out. Or if you want to keep the hot peppers in and you still kind of want to do the heat, but it's a little too much, you can mix it in like a lemonade. It makes a delicious, like fiery lemonade.
That's
you can
awesome.
mix it in with a little bit of tomato juice. If you do Bloody Marys, it makes the best Bloody Mary ever. If you do that, you can also mix them with a little extra virgin olive oil. Make a salad dressing with them. I've pickled things with them. Like there's so many different things that you can do with this. And apple cider vinegar is just there's so much out on that, and just how good it is for really supporting the gut. And so the timing is pretty perfect for these products right now.
Yeah, and I think it's just about like finding use, like to put was like the functions, everything, but like just finding like just good daily use or whatever you can put it with. It's good too. So I think I love the salads, the juicer, and like I don't know, certain things like that you said are interesting. Like carbonating might be interesting too for like mixers. Like seem like it'd be like a good mixer for like vodka and stuff too. Like you said, Bloody Mary, that sounds good.
Bloody Mary, really, really good. And the thing is that with Bloody Marys, most of the Bloody Mary mixes on the market, they've all got a lot of extra kind of like stuff that your body doesn't need and isn't supporting you. And so when you're going to make a Bloody Mary with what we're doing, actually on our website, we have a Bloody Mary kit where you're getting a bottle of our original. And then something that was like really important for us as a company from day one was that we really wanted to close the waste stream, because there's so much waste. 40% of all the food that's manufactured goes directly into a landfill. If it's not like the perfect shape, the perfect color, the perfect, it's basically being made and it's being thrown away. So from the very beginning of this company, it was really important to close that waste stream. So to make our tonics, it's organic ingredients that are chopped up and put into 30-gallon barrels. The barrels are then filled with organic, raw, unpastured, unfiltered apple cider vinegar with the mother. They're in the barrels for about 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, if we're going to make the tonics, we drain the liquid off of those ingredients. And those ingredients that are left over are called the mash or the mark. And so there's a company out of Asheville called Well Seasoned Table. And Well Seasoned Table buys our mash, dehydrates it, and makes it into these beautiful like seasonings and spices. And so one of the things she makes is a smoked Bloody Mary seasoning.
It sounds awesome.
Oh, it's amazing.
My girlfriend would get on that probably. Like she loves Bloody Marys, man. Like I think that'd be the move. Like
yeah, we got to get you on that. So you take the original Pure Fire and just go and buy some like organic tomato juice or organic vegetable juice and some of that smoked Bloody Mary seasoning, and you're done. And now it's like, having a conversation where, okay, great, I love Bloody Marys. How about a healthy version of that? Now you're putting in a immune boosting tonic with medicinal mushrooms in there that are adaptogenic. And for those people that don't know what adaptogens are, they're really, really great for like removing stress from the body. So
that's awesome.
So, you're now putting the sacred 7 medicinal mushrooms, which are in our blend. You're now putting all that into a Bloody Mary and boosting and supporting your immune system. So it's kind of like if you're gonna drink, why not drink like a healthy version of that version?
Cool. No, it sounds like a lot of information and a lot of stuff to absorb, but it's I like the energy of what you're doing, man. I think it's like it's definitely a good thing. People need to be thinking about this, and like it's I love hot sauce, so I can't wait to I've been kind of like waiting to try this for a second. I've had it with my collection, but I haven't opened them because I kind of wanted to see what I wanted to talk to you about it, so I was going at it right rather than just like and I think our schedules were crazy for a second, but no, it was cool to kind of get all this together, man. Like I think you have a lot of information on this stuff and it could definitely help people. And like, so I put a hot sauce in everything I eat probably. So I mean, if you make a good kind of hot sauce, I mean, that just benefits me so much. I feel like there's a lot of people like that to put on their eggs, put it on their lunch, put it on their dinner. It's like, I think it helps a lot of people just kind of get those. It's like no one wants to take a Flintstone vitamin or those multivitamin supplements. And not to say these completely replace like taking vitamins and stuff, but just saying like I think it's good to have those like nutrients like turmeric alone. I think is very good. And I get it from protein shakes typically. So I get my like turmeric, so I think it'd be good to have it in those too.
You know, and I really appreciate one of the things that you just said about energy. So from day one, every single batch that, and I handcraft every batch, so every batch that has ever been made, everything we do is about energy, frequency, and vibration. Like that's what the planet is built upon.
Definitely.
And so when I go to make a batch, so this is based off of a recipe called Fire Cider. Ours is called Fire Tonic because at the time when this company started, we weren't allowed to call it Fire Cider because a company out of Massachusetts had unethically trademarked that term that herbalists had been using for decades. So we called ours Fire Tonic. And so with every batch that I make, all the organic ingredients are laid out on the table in our community kitchen. And there is this beautiful prayer from the Lakota people, and it's called Mitakuye. And what it means is all my relations, that we're all in this circle of life together, from the stone people to the one-leggeds, which are the tree people, the two-leggeds, the four-leggeds, the spirit world, the plant world, that we're all coexisting, co-creating, codependent, like all in this great circle of life, one no more important than the other. So that prayer is said over all of the ingredients. And then everything we do is with intention. So if you've ever heard of Dr. Emoto, who did his work with water, basically he wanted to prove that your intentions and your thoughts can alter the molecular structure of water. And he did this really cool experiment. He took 2 jars that were sealed. In one jar, on the outside, he put the word love, and on the other jar, he put the word hate. And for 30 days, he just talked to the love water and told it how much he loved it. He played beautiful, like classical music, and just loved the love water for 30 days. On the hate water, he did the same thing. He told it how much he hated. He played like, he was at the time playing like heavy metal music and just telling it how much he hated it and it was worthless and it was the worst version of water ever created. And then after that 30 days, he took samples of it and he froze it and looked at it under this high power microscope. And the love water had the most beautiful, like, if you think of the most beautiful sacred geometry, snowflakes like that you've ever seen, that's what the love water was. The hate water, completely shattered, broken, fractured, no like shape to it whatsoever. And what that proved is that, you know, the power of intention is real. And we are water beings. So what we put out there, our thoughts, all of that, can alter who we are. So on the outside of all of our barrels, I've written intentions for raising the vibration humanity that are taped to the outside of these barrels. So it's infusing this medicine that we make with all of these incredible messages. And then I've had musicians that come in, like didgeridoo players and just different musicians that are imparting that frequency into our barrels. And then every bottle that's ever been produced since day one, going on 5 years now, I whisper thank you and I love you into every bottle before I cap it and it goes out to the world. So it's truly coming from the heart what we do. So I really appreciate you bringing up that energy because, you know, when you're buying our product, like you feel it when it goes in your body. It's not like anything else out there on the market. There's just so much from the heart and so much intention as to what we're doing here at Pure Fire Foods.
No, you can tell, man. So that's very cool. And I got a cat.
I'm so glad your cat came in. I've got 2
That's
cats.
a perfect timing too, apparently. Like, I think he's feeling what you're saying. Like, I seen that doctor in one of my favorite movies, like when I was a kid, like What the Bleep Do We Know or whatever. And that's what I was first introduced to that doctor. But I know I like that thought process, and I didn't realize all that going into that. So that's really kind of cool that you take the time to do that. I think that's what it's about, really. I think it's just, I mean, your company kind of says everything by function. You know, it kind of says everything that you want to do for people. You know.
Yeah. What's your cat's name? Don't mean to interrupt. What's your
This
cat's
is
name?
this is Hendrix. The other cat, Morrison's like behind it. I was literally trying to sneak a picture earlier because like on the table, there's a cat behind this and over there while I was doing this. I was trying to do that. This one's Hendrix though. Like,
Dude, I'm a big cat fan. I've got two of, my wife and I have two, a boy named Joy and Lakshmi, who is our newest member. And
that's the money goddess or god in like
yeah,
Hinduism. Yeah.
yep, absolutely. So we had, again, everything is energy and everything is, what you put out there and gratitude. And so I definitely wanted to have the goddess of, money around us. So
Yeah, it's definitely needed sometimes.
dude, I'm so glad I'm so glad Hendrix came into this.
He's been begging me to pet him the whole time. I like that. Like literally, I've been trying to like play it cool like the whole time of the cat, and then he walks right in front of it. And a lot of times he was on there, but the green screen took over where you couldn't see him, and then he blinked in like right here, and I'm like, oh my god. He's probably more. The cats are more successful than both of us, though. No matter what we do, like the cat has more appeal than anything we could ever hope for. Like you know what I mean? Somehow, like they have that.
I'd love to be on that beach with you right now. It looks the color of the water is beautiful.
Yeah, I'd like to be there too. That's why I have it up as my background. It's like it reminds me of how hard I have to work still. But no, it's cool, dude. So where are you guys based out of? Like New York area?
No, so so the company was birthed in Asheville, North Carolina.
You seem East Coast. That's what I was wondering. Okay.
Yeah, East Coast. So Asheville, North Carolina, in the mountains there. And I just recently, about 2 months ago, I moved to Somerville, South Carolina. Crazy story, but we were guided by our cat. Our cat, a boy named Joy. He was this house that we were living in. Everything is about energy, and this house was like, cats are very intuitive, and the energy in that house was freaking him out. So my wife had contacted an animal communicator, and the animal communicator had said, listen to Joy. Joy is going to guide you to where you're going to move, and the house that you're going to move into is going to have stone pillars out front. And so my wife got off the phone with the woman, went and sat in front of Joy and said, please guide us, because we were running out of time. Our lease was coming up. We'd had nowhere to live. We were freaking out a little bit. We knew it wasn't going to be Asheville. It was time for a move. And she sat with Joy, and then right before she went to bed, she got this intuition to like jump on her phone real quick, which she did. And she jumped onto Google Maps, and she had driven through Charleston, and the map came up, and she saw this town, Somerville, which we knew nothing about. Got into a car the next day, drove 4 hours to Somerville, and to make a long story short, we literally ended up in a house with stone pillars in front of it. And Joy is a completely different cat, completely different. Like, is so at peace now. Like, it was just, it was guided by, we were guided by our cat to be where we are right now, and couldn't be happier.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So are you from North Carolina originally?
No, originally from Washington, D.C.
Okay, yeah, you seem super East Coast. That's why I was trying to figure it out. That makes more sense.
From Washington, D.C. And then,
that's cool. So you were born and raised there?
Born in D.C., then shipped me out immediately into Maryland, lived in Maryland for most of my life, and then I did a 10-year stint in Vegas. My mom is from Miami, so I've lived in Miami a few times, and actually it was Miami to North Carolina, and then North Carolina to here, where I'm at right now.
Okay. So what gave you this idea, like, originally? Like, or was this your idea, or like was it somebody else in the company's idea? Like, what gave you the idea of like creating like a fire tonic, or like a healthier hot sauce alternative?
So back in 2010, living in Miami, I was in Costco, single guy buying stuff in bulk, and driving home from Costco, I had this aha moment of something that I wanted to create, which is so interesting because the original idea for my company, so the company is called Planet Kitchen, and Pure Fire Foods is a DBA under Planet Kitchen. And so I had this aha moment of something that I wanted to create, and I never created that because what it was going to cost to create that idea at the time was way more than I had. And so I started off with a Facebook page called Planet Kitchen. It's still there. And I started researching this idea. And when I started researching this idea, it took me into the food industry and it took me into the pharmaceutical industry. And when I started researching both of those, I got really angry because I was learning very quickly that, our food system was broken. It's called the Standard American Diet, which, the acronym is SAD. I mean, I don't think that there's any, that's no coincidence. That our food system is broken. The food has absolutely zero nutritional value to it, because of the way it's being grown with all of the genetically modified foods and all the pesticides and herbicides that are sprayed on it, and with the genetic modification, like it's not even food anymore.
Well, I personally think it's just to sell more pharmaceuticals. That's how lazy it is. I think
100%.
There's no zinc or magnesium in the crops. There's
You've got companies that are that are genetically modifying the food, but then are also making the pharmaceuticals. So they win. So they win on both ends.
Right.
So I started researching that system, and I just got so angry with like what it was and what it's about, because there's no. When you have a system that's built off of people not being healthy, then they're not interested in people being healthy. So I wanted to create something where I could get people off of this hamster wheel of pharmaceuticals, because the pharmaceutical industry's got 7,000 products. They don't cure anything. Nothing cures anything, because cures are not good for business. So we wanted to teach people, hey, you know what? Everything basically you need. Now look, there is room for that. Like if I break my arm, I break my leg, there's a gunshot wound, something like that. Yes, I'm going to go to that system to help me out. But we've gotten to a point where you turn on your television and everything is ask your doctor how you can fix everything. Like turn to a doctor for every single thing in your life. And
and those are just pharmaceutical sales reps. At this point,
I
talk to handfuls of doctors all the time. They all just seem like sales reps. I mean, there's some good ones still. I'm not trying to downplay it, but I mean, the job's been devoted to sales though.
Yeah, exactly. And I decide I'm currently 13 years pharmaceutical free. I don't take anything that they put out there. I turn to plants and herbs and what Mother Nature gives us that is not grown genetically, but organically grown and not sprayed with all these different pesticides. I turn to that first for anything that's going on with me. And then if none of that works, and then I have to turn towards that other system, then I'm looking for a naturopath or a holistic doctor that's working with different herbs and that sort of thing. So really where this company was birthed was when I did that research and just seeing just how broken these systems were, and that they weren't about healing people, that they were about just keeping people perpetually relying on the system. I created Planet Kitchen, which was a Facebook page that was just educating people on genetically modified foods, how to heal with Mother Nature, teaching them about the power of intention. Now really teaching a lot of people about the power of gratitude. There's a lot of different things that I do. And so that's kind of where it was born. And then in 2014, one of my business partners who was also living in Miami, purchased a 15-acre healing retreat center in the mountains of North Carolina and asked me if I'd be interested in doing some workshops on that property because one of my business partners, she's got a nonprofit called Art Studio World that is healing children through creative holistic art programs. So teaching children about crystals and chakras and healing themselves in fresh air walks out in nature, not what they would learn in a normal school system, because she herself was healed through creative holistic art programs. So she wanted to invite me to come out there and do those things. And I went out to look at the property. I fell in love with it, quit my job in Miami, packed everything up, moved out to this 15-acre healing retreat center. I was her property manager there, and it was on that property that, at that 100-year-old cedar tree, that Pure Fire was born.
That's awesome, man.
That was a long answer.
No, it's good though. I would have cut you off if it was boring.
I'm so passionate about, and here's a perfect example. Like, it's so interesting that we're having this conversation today, because it just, it solidifies so much more my passion for what I'm doing. So, we're getting health insurance. So, I had health insurance in North Carolina. We just moved to South Carolina. I had to change my health insurance, and I just have it for an emergency. I never use it, but I want to have it just in case of an emergency. And I want to pull, the system is so broken. And I truly believe like it's so broken for a reason, like to keep people confused and just like, angry, it's like we went with this one healthcare provider, and we've had the insurance since July 1st. We haven't made our first appointment because the primary care physician that we were told to use with this health insurance, they don't even take that health insurance. They're not even, so we can't even use them because they're not even using what we were given to take. And so my wife, who's wanting to go and get some blood work done, like literally cannot find a doctor that is using this provider in our area. And the first available appointment that she can get for blood work is at the end of August.
That's crazy.
And it's like, she needs it now. And it's just this frustration with that system. It's just such a frustration with that system that it fuels me more to do what I do to get people off of that and to find every possible plant, herb thing that grows out of this ground that we can, that we can really cure ourselves with.
Yeah, I've definitely seen some crazy stuff like hearing loss. So I believe in all that stuff for sure. Like, and I believe in part of the I guess like medical industry, but like I feel like it's definitely messed up and like it has no management really. Like it's just a bunch of like my mom's in the hospital right now and has been for a couple of months. She gets out soon, but she was like healing from a major surgery and like and some of the journey. The people were just like you meet the dumbest and smartest people. It's like weird. Like how it happens. Like I feel like I met some of the dumbest and then some of the most brilliant people as well that like actually cured her and then helped her heal and stuff. I've seen both sides of it for sure, and I think there's there's multiple sides to everything. There's like
I agree 100%. Like I said, I think it definitely has its place,
and it's also broken, like you say too. Like I'm agreeing with your points too, but I'm just saying I've seen like multiple things.
Yeah, like I said, I agree with you too that it definitely has its place. But I think it's become a thing where every time there's an ache, something doesn't seem right within your body, that people turn to that first instead of looking for an alternative.
That's real.
Because all of these medications, these 7,000 products that they put out there that don't cure anything, every single one of them has side effects. Everything that they have out there has side effects. Every one of their products can kill. Like people have died from like too much aspirin. Like all of them. I definitely 100% believe that it has its place. But for me, I don't turn. It's not the first place I turn to.
Well,
It's the last alternative for me.
And it should be that, honestly. Like, I mean, depending on the situation, like,
Yeah.
I think it should be. I mean, if I was having a heart attack, I'd definitely go to the hospital. But outside of that, I mean,
And so would I.
yeah, it just depends. Yeah, it just depends on what it is, the scenario, you know. But most situations, you're right. You should take care of your body and mind, and exercise, and eat well, and all these things first, and then like kind of just like go with it. Yeah, and I think like well, I think the institutions used to be really trustworthy too, or at least appeared to be more trustworthy. It was like my grandparents' generation, I think you could have gone to a doctor more so he'd come in and give you a real answer rather than try to sell you something or put you down some confusing bullshit hallway. But I think like I think our institution started failing us, and all this became sales jobs. So I mean like because like my parents, I mean they pretty much like still believe like the bullshit, even though they haven't seen the change for the most part, or maybe they just don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit that like these people like, and then a lot of these people are working like 40 to like 60-hour weeks and stuff where they don't have time to find information. So they're like, I'm going to go to the person who already did that. I think the doctor, like they already think they did that. And a lot of times, I mean, the doctor knows the least, the nurses know the most. I mean, it seems like
exactly.
It's just like a weird system all together, man. I don't know. It's just like, and like, I don't know, you just got to kind of think for yourself and figure it out, you know, like you get a problem solved with any situation. And I think, product years definitely helps the main vessel, like kind of stay together, you know, like, I think it's a good thing. Otherwise, I wouldn't work with the company. I kind of find the best like innovative companies. Like that's what I pride myself on that with like with ads and stuff, because I feel like people don't hate ads. They hate like bullshit information and bullshit products. You mean like if like commercials were good, people would like them. You know, it's just like if they're for good products at least. You know, it's like I don't want to buy fucking, and Pfizer owns all the commercials. I think I don't know. Like you watch the Super Bowl, it's just fucking Pfizer ads the whole time.
Yeah, I know. You know, and it's so interesting because, you know, and I know that you can absolutely like, you know, you'll vibe with what I'm about ready to say. Like growing up, like the doctor would come to the house, right? And it was like, it could be a friend of yours or whatever. And you knew, you know, at that time, you just felt like, one, they cared. Two, they gave you the time that you needed, that they were going to like really kind of give you good advice. And I feel like that's kind of, you know, I mean, you're still going to find that in the system, but there are a lot where it's like you go in, you talk to the nurse, that when the doctor finally comes in, he sits in front of a computer, he's there for 5 minutes, he's out the door, and you got more information from the nurse than you did from the doctor.
Right.
You know?
I have more time with the patients too.
Huh?
Nurses have way more time with the patients too. Like, I mean,
yeah. And I kind of like miss that. And then, you know, also too, I mean, if you go into a hospital and they've got a McDonald's in there, like there's a hospital that has a McDonald's inside it. Like, how is that talking anything about health? You know, having a processed food manufacturer inside, you know, like I just feel there's so, you know, if it was truly about healing people, if that's what that system was truly about, like when you walk into a hospital, on all of the TVs, they would be talking about like, you know, all the different ways that you can support your immune system and probably playing like higher vibrational music. They wouldn't have Jerry Springer on there or some crazy, you know, like, you know, just weird TV that is low vibrational and isn't educating you in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Like, you know, my father, who just recently passed, he had a heart attack and 3 strokes. Like they were bringing him meals of like processed food and Cokes, and I'm like,
yeah,
this is not about healing him.
I noticed that. Yeah, no, it's definitely crazy. Like I've seen a lot of that, and like I said, I've seen a lot of both. I've seen a lot of good too. Like like just pretty much like I don't know, man. I've seen like my mom's in a crazy situation. Like they diagnosed her with like ALS, but like I don't think it is. They had like a surgery. I mean, they did some surgery. I think it was a misdiagnosis. Was my point. I know I saw your face. Like, but no, I think it was a misdiagnosis, and she had a surgery because it ended up being like her spine was just staircasing. But like it took like 8 months to get to that, and like I was watching her just deteriorate like in front of me basically while they didn't know what was going on, and they thought she truly had ALS, which was a fucking nightmare diagnosis. I mean, for her as well, you know. But like, And like, so I mean, I've seen the bad, like the misdiagnosis, the not understanding what's going on for 8 months, and then finally a doctor stepped in who was brilliant. And like he called me, and I was actually thrown off that somebody smart called me. Like I was actually like I was literally thrown off, and the guy was just like, it was a guy and a girl. They separately called me, but they're like explaining everything to where like it was a misdiagnosis. It was like it was just her spine staircasing, which I mean it's still terrible, but not ALS. You know, it's like it's where like, and that's what I mean. She gets out like Friday, I think, and like because of like these people too. So I mean, but I've seen both ends of it. I've seen the absolute bullshit, and I've seen the absolute like, wow, these people actually did their job well. You know, it's like I feel like it's situational. It's like you can't. It's like it's hard to generalize and stuff. But
yeah, you know, I guess you know, to just kind of end my point on it is that, you know, it would be really like super sweet if like just all around it was that people knew what they were doing in that system, and you know, you weren't confused by it. So, you know, basically what we're doing at Pure Fire Foods is that, you know, we want to teach people that food's medicine. You know, that's kind of our thing, that, you know, food is medicine, and that we have our place out there, and the, you know, the healthcare, you know, I call it the disease management system. You know, there is a time and a place for them as well, you know, and there's no question, there are good people in that system. I just wish they were all good people in that system. You know what I
mean? No doubt, man. No, that's a great point. And I feel like we've talked for 9 more hours, but do you want to throw out some links and stuff where people could find your products, or like test market, or kind of like just buy some see if it works for them and stuff, you know?
Yeah, so you can go to www.purefirefoods.com. If you use the coupon code Anthony Rogers, you will get a nice discount off of your first order. And, you know, just really like so much appreciate the time. I know we kind of like went a little bit down this rabbit hole. I'm super, super passionate about what I do, because I've seen, you know, this company was started on a sinus infection. Like a friend of a friend had a sinus infection for 2 months that he could not kick. And, he got a hold of some of our product, and it was gone in 2 days. So when I see stuff like that, and a very dear friend of mine who's a chef has Crohn's, and you know, Crohn's is an inflammation thing, and he has been on our product for 2 years now and swears by it. So when I see stuff like that, you know, because we have several anti-inflammatories in our blend, but when I see and hear stories like that of people that have, you know, have used these plants to heal, it fuels me more to keep doing what I'm doing.
I'm gonna cut it on that because that was good. Like on like the last thing you just said. And then do you want to do like I'm blah 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 blah, and you're listening to blah 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 like intro, like basically?
Yeah.
And then let me know it's still rolling. I can just crop this.
Okay.
I can crop your face and put it as a thing.
Okay. So. This is David Rosenthal, the handcrafter here at Pure Fire Foods. You are listening to the Anthony Rogers Show, the greatest show in the multiverse, not even the universe, the multiverse.